Hey, everybody, welcome to the Outer Belt. I am Patrick, and of course, you know Chili, Buttermilk, Slim Jim, and Bobby.
Slim Jim and Bobby.
Bobby?
I don't know. It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like Talladega Nights or something.
Oh, I don't even like that show.
Oh, well, that would have been, that's what I thought you were doing.
That is funny,
Whatever.
though. It's the morning party animal circus radio show or something like that, right?
Morning Zoo.
Morning Zoo. That's the animal circus and a zoo. It's the same thing, right? It's a
Yeah.
little different, but it's similar.
Similar to a menagerie.
Oh,
Or melange.
speaking of menagerie, did you see the menagerie of flowers we got the other day for yours truly?
I did see that menagerie. It was beautiful.
And
It had no lilies in it, thank Jehovah.
thank goodness, because we were stressing about that. We pulled
Yeah.
out perfectly good periwinkles, just nervous they were lilies. We didn't find out till later they were actually periwinkles. Do you know how embarrassing that is when you pull your periwinkle out in public?
Very embarrassing.
And we left them.
Yeah.
And leave it on the.
And Eric was
leave
like,
it in the parking lot.
Eric was walking around like, I wish I could find someone in a car. I'd give him my periwinkle. And it's like, let's just abandon them.
Yeah, let's just leave them alone.
But
They're still going strong a week later.
that's what I was wondering is how
Right.
they're doing.
Yeah.
Fresh water.
Shouldn't you call a doctor or something at this point if it lasts that long?
And I
Yeah.
said, Doctor, Mr. MD.
It's got to keep them trimmed a little bit at a time and fresh water. And the roses just became almost like saucer size.
They had roses in them?
There's two.
Oh, we're supposed to get rid of roses.
You were.
No, roses were fine.
She hates roses.
You hate roses.
That's because they usually die really quickly. But
But these are long
these
lasting.
were long lasting. They were
Well,
doing really great. But
They're time release. We
they
get the
are.
time release
but they're
roses.
beautiful. Yeah, there was a big yellow, like sunflowery type one. And anyway, they're doing really well. And I, as you know, enjoy flowers, especially from the grocery store. They're my favorite.
Oh man, so
They last the longest. Again, I'm up to a week.
how about this weekend? I was thinking about them because obviously this past week was Mother's Day, which we forgot to acknowledge on the last Outer Belt. We're terrible guests. Our terrible.
Terrible host.
Host, thank
Terrible
you.
Something.
We're terrible. Sorry, apologize for all you wonderful people that listen to us that are happy to be mothers. We appreciate you. We thank you. None of us would be here without you. Contrary to what your kids may say, you did a great job. So,
Yeah.
No,
a week and a half, I guess, because I got them on.
yeah, it was a week and a
May the
half ago.
4th.
Yes.
Yeah.
May the 4th be with you. So this past weekend, we were all hanging out together and had a fun day of just like nothing. Literally nothing. Just screwing around, no agenda, no points. It was,
It was kind of a Sunday drive on a Saturday.
yes, you're exactly right. We ended up going to several stores. One of them was a Giant Eagle. And for those of you that are not in the Pennsylvania, Ohio area, a Giant Eagle is just like a fancy grocery store. It's a big Kroger, but more local. They just had tons of Mother's Day flowers.
Oh, yeah.
Tons and tons and tons. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to remember this place has all these flowers here. And then like 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, well, it's Mother's Day. They don't always have all these flowers here. Like, but they were really, really pretty, really nice.
Yep.
Then
Yes.
A week later, we found a section that said, "We're still good. Flowers."
Oh, I saw
Oh,
that section
oh,
too. When we were at Giant Eagle last
they had
weekend.
a "We're Still Good" section.
Yes,
Yes.
but some of them didn't look so good.
It's like, you can have a tomato that's got a bruise on it, but like a flower that's half dead. I mean,
These were only quarter dead. They were
They were a little
3/4
brown.
good.
were they like 1% off?
They
They
were
must have been.
discounted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing says "I love you" like discounted flowers.
But I thought it was sweet, though. The sign truly said, "We're still good."
I like it.
Yeah. I'm like, what a great marketing.
It really is.
If you intermingled them maybe with a different, fresher bouquet, might stretch your dollar.
Well, that's a good idea. Like if you really want to impress, you get a good one, you get the not so good one, and you pull the dead ones out, and you mingle.
Yeah.
Then you got a new menagerie, but
Yeah.
it's a bigger menagerie,
Right.
a better menagerie.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great idea! Why didn't we think of this? It's
I
just did.
it's awesome that we have these great ideas
We
a week
just
and a
did.
half
Well,
after we.
Father's Day's coming up, so you can do it for Dad.
Well, that's true.
Nothing says Happy Father's Day like a rose.
Nothing really does, unless it's a rosé finished bourbon. But anyways,
That rose.
That rose.
That rose. That's better.
that's a good rose.
There must be 4, not 3, not
Oh, I
5.
forgot about the 4 roses. I was thinking of it doesn't matter. We went down and we did the whole shebang. Ended up go to a bunch of different stores. We ended up at one of our favorite restaurants in Delaware, which is an hour 45 minutes from here, something like that.
What?
30 minutes.
Man, about a half hour.
We
Better.
took the very scenic route,
Oh,
a.k.a. Marysville.
oh yeah, no, it took us like 2 hours to get there, but it took us like 30 minutes to get back.
Right.
It's about a 30-minute drive.
And then we did gourmet hot dogs
We did.
here at the house.
Yeah.
I haven't had those in a hot moment.
Oh, they were good. They hit a spot. I don't know what that
did.
spot was, but they hit it. It was very
They
nice.
had chili and cheese on top.
And let's talk about the baked beans for a second, shall we?
They were good.
Oh,
But heaven forbid I try to throw mushrooms in there, and all of a sudden we're Chicago.
there's just no. It's just uncalled for.
I've
That's
never
all.
seen mushrooms on a chili dog before, but Eric had them, and there's no shame. I just had never seen it.
I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm simply saying I would never.
You're saying there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to eat your chili cheese dog, but the mushrooms, and I love mushrooms. Love them. Had
You
them
don't
tonight, as a matter of
love
fact.
them as much as I do.
It's just odd. It's just odd.
Mm.
I don't know. But what if you were doing like a Philly cheesesteak hot dog? Then you could do like a hot dog, a little shaved prime rib, and then a little cheese whiz, some onions, some bell pepper,
Yeah.
some mushroom caps. You'd have a 4.5 pound hot dog, but still, it would be pretty tasty. It wouldn't be healthy per se, but
So
It-
there you go. Philly cheesesteaks next time. I'll
Let's-
put in my
all right.
request.
We'll get
now.
the-
Not until you get a Blackstone.
I was just gonna say we'll get the Blackstone
Yeah.
ordered.
Get the Blackstone
Hey
ordered.
Siri,
Philly
order
cheesesteaks.
a. Okay, so, but oh gosh, Hey Siri actually worked. Vince?
It was a great weekend sitting. When we got back after our lackadaisy drive,
Yes.
we came back here to your guys' place and made very simple dinner. Again, chili cheese dogs, and then we just had some good friendship conversation out on your back patio.
It was a beautiful night. It really was.
Yep.
Annie came over.
did.
And we had Annie's their Great Dane. What is she called again?
She's a Malamute.
A Malamute.
Yeah.
And
She protected us against the Canadian geese.
she did
She
protect
did.
us against Canadian geese.
Canada geese. We're going to give you complaints. You guys call them Canadian geese. They're Canada geese.
The geese from Canada. And
They're of Canadian
These actually-
descent.
you know what I love?
The ones in your backyard are from Florida.
You know what I love? So a few days ago, maybe a week or so ago, we had a deer go out there. We have deer constantly in our backyard, and we had a deer go out there and like get up close and personal with a geese from Canada,
Uh-huh. A
and
goose from Canada.
You got up close and personal with a goose from Canada, and the goose snapped back, and the deer was frightened and ran on away.
Wow.
Meanwhile, little Miss Annie, who's really a toy
Australian Shepherd.
Australian Shepherd who thinks she's a full-size Australian Shepherd, doesn't understand the concept of the toy. She runs out there and takes on, what, 6?
It was like 6.
It was like 6 geese. They all ran. They were like, this crazy dog, we're not going to mess with. A 5.5-foot tall deer, bring it on.
Yeah.
But this little tiny puppy dog, oh, no. We can't have this. So they all ran away. It was
And
hysterical.
she just wanted them off your lawn. If they just would have moved to the next lawn over, they probably would have been
She'd
Do
have
you
fine.
fine.
think she knows the property lines?
I'm
She
not
does.
sure.
I'm pretty sure she does. Yeah.
Because the backyard, it's one of those like we're stupid zoning.
Open
we're not
concept.
well with zoning. We're not allowed to have fences back there. So my lawn, the neighbor's lawn on both sides, they just kind of all blur together. And the like when they cut the grass, it's like guessing where the lawn begins or ends, and it works. So I wondered, like, does the dog have a clue? Like when Kelly and Jimmy's dog comes up here, Gus, and he runs out there, he has no clue. He's just like wide open grass. I don't care whose property's whose, and just has a blast. I wonder if she knows.
I don't know.
We trained her to learn property lines
Okay,
so that
she found the little
knows-
brass medallion out
Right.
there, and
She-
she's like, "This is the."
We want to make sure she knows where to poop. On the
Other
other
side.
side of the property line.
Do you
'Cause
know-
I can't walk over there now. I'm trespassing. But she's a little cute little thing. So
Oh yeah,
I can't go clean the poop up.
true. Exactly. It would be improper.
It would be
It
improper.
would be improper.
Yeah.
I remember when we first moved here, the neighbors had a dog. Felt no shame in walking over to our property and just.
She was also as
Dropping
old
it.
as the hills.
She was very old.
And she'd also lived here at one point.
She did
right?
live here at one
Yes.
point, so it was very confusing for her. But what bothered me the most is like she wouldn't use the grass; she liked the concrete, and that's when it's like, when you go outside and you want to go stand out on the patio with like a nice glass of sweet tea and just kind of watch the sun go down. And you're like, I smell a faint aroma of, and you look over there, and there's just flies around it and stuff. It takes some of the magic out of the sunset. She no longer comes over here.
Seen her in a while.
I haven't seen her this summer.
She may have passed away.
She might have. She was very old, but if she hasn't, she might have gone to live with one of the kids because our next door
Yeah.
neighbors have several kids that live all across Columbus, so she may have gone to live with one of the kids. I'm hoping this would happen. She was a very pretty dog. She was just, like you said, she was 20-something years old. So
Golden Retriever.
Wow.
Ish.
was she golden retriever or lab?
Still, I doubt 20
Whatever
years
that is.
oldish, but yeah.
But that was a great time. And then y'all went home, and then a few hours later, I woke you up. No, that was the night before,
It
wasn't it?
was.
It was the night before. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Friday night, like most of the country, we got to see the world famous Northern Lights,
Yeah.
also known as the
Aurora borealis.
yes, and it was pretty stinking awesome. Now I think we got gypped. My sister got I think what might be the best view. She got to see the majestic purple sky. Would you call it? It was
It
beautifully
was very purple.
and then right at the horizon was the green lights that they're kind of famous for. And where we were at, the property has trees all around it. So we got the beautiful purple sky, but really couldn't see any of the green. And we even went out to the road, like thinking maybe if we looked down the street, we might be able to see it. But there were so many lights at the road, you couldn't see anything. Like even the purple went away. And then finally I had an idea of our house is 2 floors. So it was like, what if we go to the second floor and look at the one window that faces north? And so we ran up there and we did that. And when we got up there, you could actually see some of the green of the Northern Lights. Not much, very little. Like Eric likes to put it, the camera on the iPhone really did some heavy lifting. Made it look a little more spectacular than what it was. But outside in the backyard, just standing in the backyard and looking up, it was just beautifully purple. It was really cool to watch it. And even like we got out there in time to watch it actually come in, and then we got to watch it leave and just see that whole thing and just know it's solar flare, right?
Yeah.
Like, how crazy is that? I was reading an article that talked about one of the last solar flares that happened that was this major hit the southern hemisphere, and it actually caused a few electrical plants in South Africa to be shut down. Like it tripped their breakers or whatever
Wow.
because there was so much energy in the air.
Wow. You text that and you sent your pictures, and we had literally just crawled into bed. And
I feel like that happens. The last
It
couple
is.
episodes we've been
so
just-
Vince was all snuggly, and I'm like, FOMO. I said, I'm putting the robe on, and I'm going out back. So flip-flopped my way out back and did my best. That was over our house, of course, and then
Yeah.
we've got the tree line, and then there's 2-story homes behind us, and we were just too funneled in. I could maybe see what could have been very little purple lights, but I could have chalked it up to city lights, just making the horizon look different color.
Yeah.
And then I went out to the front window in the living room because I didn't want to walk out front in my robe, but just to see if I could see anything. And we just unfortunately weren't in an area where they were visible.
Yeah. Well,
so
so you're in a subdivision proper, right?
we are.
And we're not. We're on a major highway. When we first walked out to see them, and we kind of could see some faint something, I actually thought it might be. So in the northeast section of Ohio, or of Columbus, they hold a golf tournament there every year called the Memorial,
Yes.
I think so.
and it's a huge event. I mean, there's going to be thousands and thousands of people coming for it. and Jack Nicholson, not Jack Nicholson.
A number of famous
Yeah,
golfers
it'll be
come to
like
this.
like
It's like a staple in the tournament.
exactly. I'm sure Tiger's going to be here. What's the other guy that wears the goofy clothes, smokes cigars, drinks, and golfs? What's
John Daly.
John Daly will probably be here. Like it's all those people. It's a real high level.
It's a major tournament.
It's a major tournament, and so they're actually like building all the stands and getting the grandstands out there because they're all temporary. So they're putting them all up and everything. So when I first saw it, it was kind of in that direction, and I wondered, am I just seeing construction lights and they're
Right.
just trying to?
Yeah.
And then over a few minutes, it encompassed the entire sky, and I'm like, nope. That's not what that is. It is because I did at first. I was like, so when you say city lights, I get what you mean because I was like, is that what I think that is?
Yeah.
But it could also just be like city skyline or haze or whatever. But no, it engulfed the whole thing and completely covered where we were at. Of course, I saw people down at Florida and Texas were getting these lights and everything. So
Did you guys go out? I didn't see you respond either. You probably were already in bed too.
I was in bed. He was downstairs, but I was watching my show. And whenever I seen your texts, I just didn't respond. But I didn't feel the need to go out and look.
Yeah.
I seen him when I went to Alaska. So
I was right there with you.
I haven't seen them. It would have been lovely to see, but
Lovely.
Fortunately for Patrick, while we were driving, we ended up doing a load that went cross country in Canada, and he
Yes.
said he was able to see them clear skies, no cities, anything, just pure
middle of winter, so it was all white.
pure Aurora borealis.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I remember it very clearly, and it was like
Unfortunately, I was sleeping in
Well,
the sleeper.
what really stinks is it was in our first year maybe of driving, and we had never been that far north during the winter. Had never been able to see that clearly, and they were so clear as day, like nothing like what we had this past weekend. I mean, like it was like crystal, probably like you saw, just crystal clear.
Absolutely.
Like
Better.
no big deal.
Better than Apple does.
Yeah, and I just thought like, okay, well, this is going to happen every time we come north. Like this is just what happens when you're up in the northern hemisphere, and or up that far north. And no, it's not. That actually was a special thing, and I didn't realize it. So, and we weren't as far north as Alaska. We were still like around like where Edmonton is. So pretty high in Canada, but not anywhere near Alaska high. And so we never got to see him again. I kicked myself in the butt for not stopping the truck, waking Eric up, and having him come out and see him, because they were just bouncing around. And, I mean, like an hour of them of just bouncing pretty northern lights. It was
wow.
cool, so cool. And then last night would be the second night, or last week would be the second time I saw him. But it was
they are pretty amazing.
yeah, it was super cool. I mean, there's so much things you see, like I think the solar eclipse. I could take it, leave it, or whatever. This is a phenomenon that's like, wow, it's really neat seeing it. So, if anybody's ever does a trip to Alaska, or even if you ever fly to like New York City to London or something like that, Europe overnight, look out your window in the northern direction. Sometimes you see them out there, and it's obviously I'm into flying.
Sure.
And I see all the time people that like pilots that fly that route. They're like, we see them all the time. It's no big deal anymore. You just get so numb to seeing the northern lights up there. So if you're flying, give it a shot.
Unless you're from the South, you've never seen that before.
Never.
Like South Louisiana, New Mexico, Arizona, even New Mexico. It's probably pretty impressive seeing that for the first time.
Yeah, I agree. So Jerry, tell us about it.
About what?
They're seeing us now on a new lens.
Oh, it's an old lens that I've had. I'm just trying a new lens tonight. It's a little more wide angle. It's a little higher f-stop, but I'm hoping that it does. I've noticed my other lens. I think it got banged around or something, and it's doing a lot of focus breathing, and I'm wondering if something happened internally, because I've noticed that even other stuff that I've tried doing with it, it's doing a lot more than what it used to. So I decided to haul this out of the bag and try it out and see how it does. So
Gotcha. Is that why Don's having to be behind the camera holding it with two handles? I mean, that thing's huge. It has JVC on the side of it.
yeah, it's massive. It's not as high of quality lens as the other one, but it is a wider lens, and
Cool. It makes you see how this looks and how it compares.
No,
I was
get it.
wondering this
I
whole
get it.
time we've had this pizza here, and I didn't understand why, because we ate one just like it,
Yeah.
like an hour ago.
Before
and,
tonight, I always thought when she made those pizzas,
yes.
they were frozen pizzas that she put out of the box and threw on the thing because they taste so good.
Like a DiGiorno.
Like a, yeah,
Not like a
DiGiorno.
Tostino's.
No, maybe a Red Baron.
I haven't had
Ooh.
Red Baron in forever.
Been a long time.
Well, they still make pizzas?
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
our resident pizza. Yeah, you know, my aunt used to do that. She used to save money. We'd buy more economical pizzas
Sure.
and then get them home and then get an
Jazz 'em
onion and you
Oh,
throw
yeah,
some
touch
onion
'em up.
on there, throw
Yeah.
some fresh cheese, some fresh veggies and all that stuff on there. And they were always so freaking
yeah.
good compared to buying like a DiGiorno that already was a Supreme. The veggies are all frozen. Everything, you
Right.
know, it's
Yeah,
still good, but
it's
it's not.
not as good
not
as
the same
having
as
the
fresh.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
We call that semi-homemade.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I love
nothing like
semi-homemade.
doctoring up a frozen pizza.
it's nothing like doctoring up a frozen fill in the blank.
There you go.
Eric and I.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, we ended up getting a cauliflower bake from Bird's Eye or someone. I don't remember who it was. And it was supposed to be cauliflower with cheese and bacon. And we threw on some sour cream. I threw on some fresh cheddar cheese. We had bacon bits from a salad we had just done. So I threw the fresh, and it was the real bacon, not the little red
Right. The
crap
hard
stuff.
Bacos.
Yes, it was real bacon. And then I think we had some green onions. We put some green onion on there too, and it just elevated and made it
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, this was from scratch. I love that video that y'all did. That it really
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
it was fun to watch. It was really tasty.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
This
This is on your Optavia or Optavia, lean and green,
yes, it is.
approved, and the recipe says that it's for 2 servings. The recipe originally doesn't have all the vegetables on top. It's just the tomato and I think basil is all. It's a margarita pizza, so very
Okay, yeah.
simple. But you know, we added the pepperoni and some extra veggies, but still very low carb. Again, like Jerry said, you could almost make it carnivore. Again, by maybe omitting some of the veggies, but
You know, if you did want to go and make it like a margarita style, because we did more of a supreme-ish style,
did.
Sure.
which we didn't get any black peppers. Not black peppers, black olives, which is the one thing I kind of was like, I'd really
I
that
didn't.
a little bit. If you wanted to go with a margarita style or something,
Yeah.
Kroger or most grocery stores sell fresh mozzarella in a little tub. So you just pull them out. They're little like balls of mozzarella.
Yeah.
Cut them into like
Mhm.
2 or 3 slices, and then stick those
Yeah.
on the pizza instead of the shredded mozzarella. Little basil, little Roma tomato. Cut it, slice it up, throw them on there.
That'd be really good on there.
I think it'd be outstanding.
Yep.
And again, like
It's a method.
it really is. And what I love about it is we used Uno sauce. No, what
Rayos.
Rayos.
Rayo sauce. What I love about those kind of sauces, especially since you're traveling the country in a truck, there are local sauces that grocery stores sell. Like
sure.
in Columbus, we have Carfagna's is a big Italian
Grocery
restaurant,
Deli.
the deli thing.
Yeah.
But they sell it at Kroger, so you can actually get the Carfagna's pizza sauce if you
Sure.
want it and try that. Or you may find that like your favorite sauce is out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And so every time you go to Albuquerque, you pick up a bottle, and so you can do this, right? Like, how fun would that be to be able to try to make it and to change little things here or there
Sure.
to see how they go? And
Yeah.
you might swing and miss, but you might end up with something that you're like, oh, man, this is outstanding.
I like the idea that you have almost a whole jar of tomato sauce left over. So maybe the next night you buy the frozen meatballs. You know, maybe that was part
yeah.
of your plan. So maybe this is a little more of the fresh. You've got some downtime. You know, when you're out on the road or whatever it might be, even if you're at home and you're trying to do meal prep. But maybe part of it is you've got the frozen meatballs, so that makes it really quick and easy. And then the next day, maybe you throw them in the slow cooker
Instapot
or whatever you want to do.
Yep.
But now you've got 3/4 or more, because you didn't use much on your pizza,
Yeah.
of this big jar, and now you can do maybe like sub sandwiches or something. So
Well-
there's always, or spaghetti or whatever you
Or-
might want to do.
Or you throw the tomato sauce in the fridge, and then next week you make it again.
Sure.
and you just top it differently.
Sure.
Like, I know for me personally, I could have pizza at least once a week.
Sure.
I love it that much. And so, like, maybe I do a margarita pizza this week, and next week I do a supreme pizza, and next week I do a Canadian bacon.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
And
kind of like she said in the video too. You don't have to use ground turkey or ground chicken. Use Italian sausage or breakfast
Yes.
sausage
yeah.
or ground beef or
Well, I liked our producer Don actually said take ground sausage and mix it with turkey or mix it with chicken. That way it's not so Italian sausage forward,
Sure.
right.
but you still get that flavor and everything. I thought
Sure.
that was a great
You can
idea.
even freeze your sauce, right? Maybe pre-measure it into Ziploc bags and freeze it, and
Yeah.
it'd be the right proportion or thereabouts for another use for pizza. So I mean, don't let all the extras. I ended up with extra vegetables tonight, and I'll take those home, and most likely I'll put them in like scrambled eggs or something like that because they're already cooked.
Yeah.
Well,
Eric will do a 1 egg omelet every day. That's his like lunch, and he's got a skillet that's like, I don't know, 5-6
like
inches,
More like 4-inch
4-inch skillet.
Just enough for 1 egg.
Cracks an egg, throws it in there. He has some sautéed vegetables, kind of like that. He'll throw those
Some
in there.
seasoning.
A couple things, seasoning.
I love
some,
mushrooms, so stick a mushroom or two in there.
Yeah, and then that's just like a takes a minute and a half to make. Good little omelet. And there's been times where I've been like sitting there, I'm like, let me try that, and take a bite of it. It's like, wow, this is actually really good, like really good. And that's something you could make on the road, especially if you
Sure.
have, what is the device I'm thinking of?
Would you cook it on or would you cook it in?
No, like a well, I guess it really wouldn't work in a dot. What do they call them?
Oh, the waffle maker? Or
Not the
pancake maker?
waffle maker, pancake maker. I thought they made something else that would work in.
I thought they have like an egg cooker that does it.
Maybe an egg cooker thing is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you might be able to do
Oh.
it in the pancake maker.
We were gifted with 2 of them by your mom.
Correct.
One of them, either mine or yours, was a waffle maker. The other one was a flat pancake maker.
Yeah.
We still have that upstairs.
Dash. That's what I'm thinking of.
The dash. You
Dash
said dot.
ones.
That was
Dot-
very close.
dash.
Yeah, dash.
Dash, dot,
sure.
period, exclamation mark, whatever it is.
Well, I'm glad you all enjoyed it. I know we kind of topped them how we each wanted, with the ingredients I bought. Again, you could do the Canadian bacon, you could do pineapple, olives. I didn't think to buy those. I be honest with you, I do my best to cater to everybody else. I didn't buy olives because I don't like them on pizza. But I should have, thought above and beyond what I like. So other people do like them on.
I
their
love that you
pizzas.
don't. I love that you don't live.
I
you
did
don't-
bring the pepperoncinis, which I like.
Yeah.
And you did pretty
I
good
thank you
taking
because
care of all of us.
I had those too.
Yeah.
I like.
I did try.
I like that you're not crazy about the olives because one of the times over the past year we've been at your house, you had this awesome olive salad mix,
Mm-hmm.
and it just
I don't like them on pizzas.
that's like the people that don't like ham and pineapple. They're like it doesn't belong on pizza.
Oh, I love that.
I love it.
Just
They're wrong.
not
The
an
people
olive.
that don't think ham and pineapple belong on pizza are wrong and should be shamed publicly.
I got a cute little story to tell you about black olives.
All right, let's hear it.
So I was really, really young. Like, my mom told me I was like 1, 2, really, really young. And I remember it was the first time going to a Pizza Hut. And it was back then whenever you sat down in the Pizza Hut and ate and they bring
Tiffany
it out.
lamps,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
red vinyl. I remember those.
And I remember she said that whenever the pizza came out and they set it down on the table, I immediately stood up and I started grabbing all of the black olives and throwing them all over the restaurant. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs, "There's roaches on this pizza!"
God.
I remember going over to my aunt's house, and they had pizza, and we had one that was like pepperoni and cheese, and the other one was a supreme. And supreme back then, or I guess still does, has black olives on it. And I remember thinking like, I'm gonna have a supreme pizza, and I was 5, 6, 7, something like that. I remember taking a bite of it, and it had black olives on it, and it was just too powerful for my palate. And I was like, oh my God, it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
It's just weird to go from that to like, no, I actually like black olives on a pizza now.
I
But
do
it was a large
Sure.
time of frame to get to the point where I like them. But I remember that as a kid, just hating them.
I'm okay without them on a pizza. I kind of got a little worn out with them when I was living in Chicago, my first job there was with Gino's Pizzeria,
Yes.
and my job
That was the
was
deep
to
dish.
It was the deep dish
Yeah.
place.
I was used to thin crust. but
My
yeah.
job was to slice the olives.
Oh.
So I mean, I'm surprised I still have. My
Were they
fingers. I had to pit them and then slice them.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was just 8 hours a day, and if it was busy, 10, 12 hours a day slicing olives. That's what I did all day long, was slice friggin' olives.
I hate that for
It
you.
was just miserable. So I don't do that anymore, obviously. I'm not doing
Yeah.
anymore slicing olives, but that was probably one of the worst jobs I've ever had.
I completely understand that. When I used to live in Italy, I worked at a place and I had to actually make blue cheese crumbles.
Really?
So I would get a wheel of blue cheese,
Yeah.
and you take a giant, it's like an ice pick looking thing,
Mhm.
but it's got a blade on it. It's
Right.
kind of it's like the end of a hoe.
Sure.
Yeah, and
Sure.
you have to just go at it
Right.
to even
To
break
just
the wheel
make it
apart,
and then
and then you had to get it in there, and then you had to you took a different tool
yeah.
and you just crushed and crushed and sliced and crushed, and then you would crumble it. Now the thing about blue cheese is that when it's fresh off a wheel, it is not blue.
Right.
It is a lovely shade of green fungus growing on your bread.
Oh.
It is disgusting. It smells horrible.
Yeah.
That was one of my jobs. Crumble blue cheese.
When I lived in France,
We
I mean, you can buy it today in the store, Fleur de Sel. It's basically sea salt, but it's very fancy sea salt. It's gray. I used to have to strain the salt out of the water, the ocean.
Oh
water.
yeah, yeah. You desalinate it,
Well, I was desalinating the water, but I wanted the
but
salt.
capturing the salt.
Capturing
yeah,
the
yeah.
salt in a very fine sieve. Have you ever tried to capture salt in a sieve?
No.
No.
It doesn't work very well. So to get a pound of salt took 5 months.
You see, that reminds me of back when I lived in California, in the desert,
Right.
in the mountainous desert. We used to take a bunch of dirt and we would run it through strainers on a river,
Right.
and then we would pull out the gold.
Okay.
And so they had constant people with picks and kerosene lanterns, and they would take dynamite and blast the wall. Then they would bring us up all this dirt, and then we would just be there,
Just sorting through it.
just sorting through it,
yeah.
trying to find the gold.
Yeah.
And-
It's frustrating.
And you know how you do, right? When you find the gold, it's one goes in the bucket, or
Right.
it's like a little jar thing. Glass, which I always thought was super clumsy because
Yeah,
we're
glass
out here
breaks.
working with rocks.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's stupid.
right.
But that's what the company had. So, you do one for the company, one in your tooth for
Right.
you,
Yep.
you one in the company,
Yeah.
and you just keep sorting. And you got your paycheck off of the gold and the glass,
Right.
and then you got your bonus off what you could shove in your tooth.
Yeah.
And that was good times.
Wow. You guys are so
Well traveled.
well traveled.
Well, back in the
Life
day when I
experiences.
lived in Ontario and they kicked us out and we moved to South Louisiana and they called us Cajuns.
Oh, that was worse. That was terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible. They made you quit
You know-
speaking France.
You mentioned Chicago. That's one thing I never got. I love deep dish pizza, and I have never, to this day, have ever had Chicago deep dish.
Wow.
Well, join us for the Outer Belt Live in Chicago for Jerry's first Chicago deep dish.
They were all talking about Philly
At
steak
Gino's.
dogs. I was wondering, is the Philly steak
Cheesesteak?
from Philadelphia?
Yes.
Is there
but
a known place in Philadelphia where you're supposed to
there's
get
many
it? Or
known
Yeah,
places
certain-
in
certain
I
Philadelphia.
think
places,
that would
yeah.
have been fun too. And
Packs.
we didn't get to experience that.
Yeah.
we've never
so-
done it, so
So that's going to be a Hyfield road trip too. It sounds like.
yeah, we need to do Philadelphia when you go see the Bell.
Did you ever,
Yeah,
did you ever
the
have
Liberty
the
Bell.
poutine when you all went to Canada?
No, I'm
he
not into
makes
all
that
that.
all the time himself. He loves gravy and French fries. And
It's not my thing. It just looks like trash food.
I love gravy and French fries too. Though.
But
I
it's
think
got to
we
be
had
good
it.
curds.
we
though,
had it-
right? Good cheese curds.
Yeah, just gravy and French fries.
Yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to have cheese curds on it.
Well, if it's poutine, yes.
yes.
It was never a thing for us, I don't think. But it just seemed unhealthy.
We didn't have it either. I've had it one time. We were on the truck. We were
I had
way
it
up.
from a food truck when I was living in L.A.
When we were in
True story.
we tried to eat. We did actually try to eat local. So when we went to Sydney, Nova Scotia, we did what everybody does. We went to the grocery store, and bought a lobster for like a penny.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
everywhere else in the world, it'd have been $100 for that friggin' giant. This lobster, I'm not lying, Eric. Look, it was that big. It was huge. The tail was bigger around than my arm. It was
Wow.
huge. You go to the grocery store over there in Sydney, Nova Scotia. You say, I want that one. And they ask you, do you want it live or how do you want it? And so we were told by a local, like, go there and just tell them to steam it. So that's what we did. Just steam it for us. And they actually have the steaming equipment and everything there. They steamed it. And then you just take it apart and start eating it. It's wonderful. So we did that.
There's a difference between a lobster and a crawfish.
Yes, you don't need 47,000 crawfish or lobsters like you do crawfish.
And you don't need a tool like you do for a lobster to get it open.
Yes, lobster. We actually had to go to another grocery store and actually buy the lobster cracking tool because it's hard. I was like,
It's a hard
I did
sell,
not
yeah.
think it was going to be that difficult.
I lasted about 5 minutes trying to do that, and it just went in the fridge.
Are you
Yeah.
supposed to do like CPR on it or something? Like really?
Chest
give it a-
compressions.
Well, kind of.
Which part of which part of it is the chest?
But on the tail, aren't you supposed to give it a good? I've seen people do that where they like double hand. It kind of looks like a CPR move.
Well, kind of.
But
I mean,
they're-
I do remember
and
there
they're
was a point where
pushing.
Eric had his hand over the lobster's nose, and he was like,
That's what I meant.
but it didn't work. It didn't take.
The tail part's easier into than the claws. Because
Okay,
it doesn't have
no.
the shell underneath.
Okay.
It has
all
a
right.
shell on
the
top,
tool,
and
the tool we
Join
got
us.
was for the
Join
claws.
us on Hyfield. I'm sorry, the Outer Belt on location. We go to Sydney, Nova Scotia, and we let this man take a lobster apart.
I've eaten
barehanded.
lobsters, whole lobsters.
No,
in
that's the
Maine.
American.
In
in
Maine. In Maine.
Maine.
Yes.
Maine.
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 Like the state.
The state of Maine.
Like where Boston's at.
No. That'd be the state of New York. Yes, I know.
It's Vermont.
Boston is in New Hampshire. I know that. So please don't write us about if you have complaints about our geography, please email patrick@gmail.com.
Yes.
That'll get to somebody named Patrick,
Sorry.
I'm sure.
Sorry, Providence. Anyways.
Exactly. But yeah, so we had whole lobsters that my dad and stepmom made for us.
I forgot you have family up there.
I do.
It's harder to make fun of someone when they have family there.
And that's all I got to say about that.
We try to
So
eat
the
local
tail was
too.
easier. Yeah, we try to eat local too. We just never spent any time in Philly.
Oh, you didn't let me finish my story. So we do the
Yeah, so
lobster
anyway,
there,
Yes.
and then we
I
ended
think
up
we did finish that story.
no. So then we ended up leaving there, and we actually ended up getting a load out of Prince Edward Island, which is exciting. If you've ever been there, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. I mean, look at this photo. It's beautiful. We go there and we go to the authentic restaurant there, right? They're known for their potatoes. That's what they grow there. So we go to their most famous restaurant, Boston Pizza. And and at Boston Pizza, I got a pasta.
I see. You missed out on the potatoes altogether.
Completely.
Yeah.
No gnocchi, no
that
nothing.
that would have
Nothing.
been an
Nope.
amazing poutine, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Now, that was great. No truck parking on Prince Edward Island at all. Eric and I had to, stash our truck, wedge it behind a Kmart and a Big Lots or something and, hide ourselves. It was the whole night we're like, please don't let the cops come over here and find us. It was very stressful.
So you're supposed to be in and out?
Yeah, Prince Edward Island is definitely the kind of place you go there, you got to do when you leave. We didn't know that going into it.
Also, if you don't know where Prince Edward Island is on a map, it's between north of Ontario, Canada. It's an island of its own. It's also where the novel of Anne of Green Gables was first published
Yes.
in 1908.
There's a lot of tourism there for that same reason. It is. I've been twice. We've been twice. Once in summer, once in winter. If you get the option, choose summer. It's a miserable white blanket of nightmare for winter. But during summer, it is stellar, unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah, there's a big difference between these white sheets of snow during winter
Literally
and
just white.
just green blooming flowers and
Yes.
trees and everything of spring and summer.
And we took the ferry across from.
That's where
Sydney.
you did the ferry.
We did the ferry from Sydney up to Prince Edward Island, and then so to go from there over to the main town because there's only one major city there. It's quite a drive, so you actually get to see so much of the pretty island. Awesome. Did y'all ever make the trip out there?
Never been.
Yeah, you missed out. Sorry. Did you do Halifax or no?
Nope.
Halifax was fun too.
Yeah, we never did Canada.
We did it at Halifax. We picked up a load in Las Vegas and drove. They actually had us cross over in Detroit,
Okay.
and so we had to go up and over Lake
Michigan?
Michigan. Erie. What is that? That's what I said. Lake Huron, and
Pick a lake.
and all the way around over the top of Maine. I remember we changed drivers just above Maine. Like if you looked at a map and you look at how Maine kind of comes to a top.
Right.
It's
yeah.
a kind of a
Right above
peninsula
that is
of
a-
its own.
Yeah, right above that's a road in Canada. That's the one we were on. And we crossed right there, or changed drivers right there. And I remember stepping out of there, and it was just like the most intense pine Christmas smell I'd ever experienced. It was
Yeah, it was very nice.
Well,
unbelievable.
that's probably because Eric had just cleaned his inside of his shoes with pine salt too.
He did. He did, but not the whole truck and not everything else.
Sure.
It was stinking unbelievable. It was a really good trip. It sticks out in my mind as one of the better ones. We've had great trips all over the country, but that one was definitely a highlight for sure.
Nice.
So also, if you know your geography of Prince Edward Island, you know this is the same distance on the east side and the west side, the distance from the tip of the island back to the mainland Canada. Well, the bridge that connects the west side is called the Confederation Bridge,
Yes.
and
Different
it's
confederation than some of you might be thinking. I know
not the
some of you-
Confederate Bridge,
yeah,
the
some of y'all-
Confederation Bridge.
Some of you are thinking Confederation from Star Trek, but that's the Federation.
Ah, it's not the con.
Right.
It's not.
It's this is the
Gotcha.
con. Well, it's 8 miles from Prince Edward Island to mainland Canada. So imagine a bridge connecting 8 miles on the west side and a ferry connecting it on the east side, where that ferry carries commercial trucks like 40-foot to. Did they bring 18-wheelers?
Yes.
So
Yep.
40-foot commercial straight trucks, is it 52-foot 18-wheelers
53-footers.
on a ferry from mainland Canada up to the tip of Prince Edward Island. It's
That's
pretty
pretty amazing.
it's pretty interesting to
It is.
see. And you park your trucks and your vehicles on the bottom floor. You have to get out of them.
Yes.
You're not allowed to stay in it during the trip. They have stairs to go upstairs, and upstairs.
It's a really nice
We may have mentioned it
observation
before,
lounge.
but there is observation. There's a whole restaurant. There's a
Yep.
cafe. I missed out because I didn't get it, but the time we took it, Patrick got a lobster
roll.
a
So that
lobster
was-
roll, which I wasn't hungry enough to get.
Yep.
And he bragged about it, and that's one of my regrets that I
That
didn't
was-
get the
How long's the ferry?
sandwich
That-
on the boat going that way.
It was what, a couple of hour and a half or so on the ferry.
Long enough to have a whole
Yeah,
meal.
long enough to leave and have a whole meal. So we did get the. We didn't eat at the restaurant. We went to the cafe. I got a lobster roll. They had a whole assortment of liquor as well and beers and stuff. But obviously we were driving a truck, so that wasn't an option. So we just got the lobster roll. You weren't hungry at all, so I ate, and it was so good. I remember making you have a bite because I'm like, this is unbelievable. And I've been a huge lobster roll fan ever since. We've had them all over the country, but that was the birthplace of my lobster roll infatuation. Of course, now I can't really eat lobster roll because I can have the lobster, I just can't have the roll. It's not part of my plan. Since we're talking about not part of the plan,
Yeah.
let's talk about how things are going.
Yeah.
But first, we want to talk about the weekly fueling, which is going to be the Golden Butterscotch Blondie. Golden Butterscotch Blondie. So this is a blondie brownie. If you know what that is, it's a brownie, but it's made out of not chocolate. It's butterscotch. And what does a blondie normally have?
I have no idea.
Vanilla or
I have no idea. I'm waiting for the video to roll so I can watch it and see what's actually in a blondie.
okay. But this one is it's pretty easy to make put together. You add a little cold water to it, stir it up, and then this little tray actually comes with it. And you just put that mixture in there. Actually, I just poured everything in here, stir it up with a fork, and then you can throw it in the microwave for a minute and a half, or you can bake it for 15 minutes. I always microwave mine. I did the baking a couple times, never really cared for it. I actually like the way the microwave makes it a little gooey or whatever. So I did that. And then it says 3 to 5 minutes, let it cool, and then eat. And it's really great. I love the fact that this plan, you can have a butterscotch blondie. And look at this. This is not small. Like, this is a good size little tub. This is a big brownie.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to have a brownie, this is a big brownie. And that's one of the fuelings. So that's the fueling of the week, and it's really good. This little tray will come up some more on some different ones we do, but the weekly weigh-in. This week I stood on the scale this morning, and upon the scale I saw 4 digits with a period. I mean, there wasn't 4. I don't weigh 1,000 pounds. Jeez.
You've put on a few since last week's
We go
weigh-in,
down.
apparently.
They go down to the 10th of a pound. Thank you. And I am at 270 pounds, 0.2.
Wow. So really close to that, looking at that 160-ish.
160.
We should be there next week.
We should be there next week.
Awesome.
Yes. Now, I'm not sure, the pizza, we're going to find out how true it is to being Octavia friendly.
Yeah.
Based on how I do. Tomorrow, if I weigh 272, then I'll know it's all crap. But no, I'm kidding.
Well, the great thing about this pizza is it's carb-free.
It is.
protein.
Not carb-free, low carb.
Okay.
But I think when since we've all at this point seen the video, we all know that it is, nothing in there is crazy.
Right.
The sauce is like the worst thing of it. Normally she does do the sugar-free like she was talking about, and this time they didn't have it in the store like they normally do, and we had to get the video made. So there was a little bit of sugar in the sauce, but it is a very... It's
the
very
lowest-
minimal. It's not like Prego or anything like
I
that.
think there's an important
Distinction?
thank you, in the sauce. The sauce is not sugar-free because you do get natural sugars from tomatoes.
There's no added sugar.
There's no added sugar.
Yeah.
This sauce is low in the added sugar category, but there are some out there that are no added sugar.
Sure. And you're only using a couple of
Sure.
tablespoons.
Yeah.
So truly out of all of it throughout your day, those could be your plus whatever
Right.
in your program that you're doing.
Absolutely.
But this truly came off the Optavia page.
Yep.
And
I've seen
it's approved.
I've seen it on that page multiple times, and so it was good to actually have it. I
Yep.
thought we had this
We've had it before
a
at our
couple
house.
years ago at your house.
Yeah.
Not even that.
The other month.
Oh, was it?
It
The
was
other
like
month?
2 months ago that
Was
we
it?
had it. Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all
We
did,
eat
not
it
us.
often.
Oh, we were there.
I say
Oh,
we
what?
eat it probably once every month
Where
and a
was
half.
I?
You were
You
there,
were there.
too.
Okay.
Yeah, you were there.
So,
It may have been the mushrooms that Eric put on it that caused the problem.
oh
They
yeah,
were
yeah. You shouldn't
special
buy
mushrooms.
your mushrooms off of behind the street.
No.
So, that was humor. That was in
That
case
was
anybody's
humor. It
curious.
was
That
a
was
joke,
humor. It's a
yes.
joke. Yes.
Kudos to you for being 270.
Thank you.
When I came into the house today,
The first
And-
thing you did.
yep, I did a little pat on the belly, and I said, "Oh my goodness, you're looking so slender." It just was so noticeable.
This is the double P, the PP. Patronize Patrick.
Yes.
Part of the
Okay.
show.
All right.
Yeah, good
We
job.
got to bring
Good job,
patronizing
Melissa.
Patrick back in. I forgot about that.
I wasn't patronizing.
It's a joke, sweetheart.
Oh, kind of like mushrooms from the neighbor
Yes.
down
yes,
across the
yes,
street.
Exactly.
Ah, okay, I'll laugh.
Oh, that's
No,
funny.
but I did.
That's funny.
I noticed it was very noticeable that you've made some changes.
I
Your
appreciate
body's
that.
taking different shape.
I appreciate that. I am I'm trying to keep the momentum going. I'm really hoping it doesn't stick, so to speak.
Good.
Oh, and
I think
Yeah.
you got it going.
the only thing I've had a little recently, and I've talked to Eric about this, and even you, because you asked me when you saw it the other day on my counter. I've had a little bit of issue with like drogginess, and not drogginess, but like just meh,
Sluggishness.
a little sluggishness. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I did some reading on there, and there were some people talking about not getting enough salt electrolytes.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked on Amazon, and I actually bought a thing of they're kind of like you ever had the Crystal Light tubes, and you just dump them in a 16-ounce
Sure.
bottle of water,
Yeah.
and you shake it up, and you have lemonade.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's full of electrolytes. This one has no sugar, and it has no carbs. Which was not easy to find because a lot of them have sugar and a lot of them have carbs because they're mostly for athletes, like trying to recover after doing a workout session which is like building muscle, not so much about gaining weight. They don't care about that because they're burning so many calories anyways. So I did find one that was for people dieting, and it is no added carbs, no added sugar. It might be 10 calories per little thing or something. It's negligible. And I started taking those. They're not the best tasting things in the world, but it has salt, it has magnesium, it has potassium, it has a few other vitamins and stuff in there just to help, because you have to replenish that stuff, right? Like, in eating this diet, there's some salt, there's some everything in each one of the little Optavia deals. And, of course, when you're making your food, you're adding that. But I did read that even still you could just be airing a little bit too light, and just something like that will just push you over to make everything work properly.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can still place your orders for Don's Custom Baking, sorry. I didn't mean to mess that up. Don's Custom Baking, DCB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And brownies, cakes. Blondies, gingers,
Cinnamon rolls. He
Cinnamon
does
rolls.
Really good cinnamon
Yeah.
rolls.
cinnamon rolls. Now, he can do the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls, or if you want to pay a little surcharge, there is actually the homemade from scratch.
We
Homemade
also,
loaves of bread.
We also got the order for ice cream after we talked last week. We don't. Well, I shouldn't say we, because I'm not doing this. Don doesn't do ice cream in the summertime because he can't guarantee it's going to arrive cold.
Yes.
So during the fall and winter months, Don
Yeah.
will do ice cream, and we can ship it because we can make sure it's staying cold. But
Ooh,
in the
it's
summer,
shipping
we
now?
don't do. Sure.
Otherwise,
we have special.
otherwise you're really just getting flavored milk.
We have a special relationship with FedEx Custom Critical to
Yes.
make sure that it gets to
Gets
you
you
ice cold.
Little
There you
extra
go.
shipping.
There you go.
A little extra.
Just a touch, but
Does he
it's
do,
worth it.
Does
It's worth
he do
every penny.
sorbet yet? I put my order in for
Ooh.
sorbet.
I heard he was researching a sorbet recipe.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm looking
I'm
for
a
is
good lemon or raspberry.
some custard. If we can get some frozen custard happening, please don't, because I'm trying to lose weight. See, that's how you get your order from Don, is you say, please don't.
Yeah.
And then the next
Exactly.
week he's like, "Here,
Exactly.
guys, I just decided I've been trying it. How about my new? It's like a chocolate vanilla strawberry swirl
Right.
of custard, and I threw in some chocolate chunks, and some brownie pieces, of course, made from scratch,
Of course.
and a little cayenne in there, and like
I love
marshmallow cream."
Yeah. Yeah.
Jerry's like, "That sounds pretty good."
I saw
Don's
a
all
recipe.
over it.
I saw a recipe last night for creme brulee, and I may make it as
No,
a
you're not.
It was a very small serving,
Oh, okay. Oh, the little. I've
wasn't-
seen those. I've
wasn't-
seen those.
just a little ramekin.
Yep, I've seen those.
But the recipe, I'm like, I want to try it and see if it's the best, because she was so raving about
Okay.
it. And it was a semi-homemade. It was a hack. She was using vanilla ice cream, letting it melt. So that was kind of her liquid. Anyway, I don't want to give it all away, but I want to try it and just see, because I know you're a fan of the creme brulee.
I'm a fan of the creme
And
brulee.
I've never made one, but hers looked so easy to make.
Would you call me a creme brulee snob?
Yes.
No
Wait.
hesitation.
Let me think about it.
It's funny because
Yes.
I had that thought in my head, and I was gonna say you're kind of a creme brulee snob, and then you asked the question. It was like, yeah, no brainer.
Well, and that's why I wanted to
no-brainer.
try it out, just because her recipe was literally 3 ingredients.
Okay, we'll try it out.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good. So
See,
I-
he's already telling me, but I'm
No.
like,
He's already proved
You-
I
it.
don't eat
you-
creme brulee, so I don't
you-
even like. I've had a sample of yours
Then-
every now and again. It's not my thing.
yeah, but I'm
So I
only
don't know a
offering.
good
I'm
one or a
only.
bad
I'm
one.
only offering samples when it sucks. I'm like, see, this is not good. Try it. Yeah, So I've had people ask me before, Patrick, why do you like creme brulee? It is a basic. It is so
It is
basic of a dessert. It doesn't make any sense. Why do you like cream? You like sugar. It's ridiculous, yada, yada, yada. And the answer is because when it's done right, it is unbelievably delicious. Is it simple? Yes. Is it easy? Obviously not, because nobody can seem to get it right. You know,
What set the bar for that, by the way? Who's set the
Sullivan's,
bar for that?
Baton Rouge. But since then, there's been several more that have,
Sure.
have met the mark. It's not like they're the only ones that can make it. I'm only gonna like
But
that.
that's what set you.
But that's what set me on the trail. It was back then. It was early 2000s. It was $20 for this creme brulee, which is expensive. If you get a creme brulee now, they're not that expensive. But that's what they had, $20. and it was probably a 7-inch
So it was
creme brulee.
yeah,
So it was big, and they put fresh fruit on it. That was it. I was gonna say powdered sugar, but that was a different place that did that. Theirs was good too. But so you get a little piece of fruit, a little creme brulee. It was delicious. The custard was perfect. The sugary topping was always perfectly bruleed.
Mhm.
Like everything about it was excellent. And that's just a really hard, because it is simple, but think of a Coke. If you like Coca-Cola, which I do, I love Coca-Cola. I don't drink it anymore, but I love Coca-Cola. A fountain Coca-Cola at McDonald's
Oh yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
A fountain Coca-Cola at your local 7-Eleven,
Not the same.
not the same. It's not so good. Why is it not the same? It is the same ingredients. It is Coke syrup and carbonated water. That's it. It is 2 ingredients that have to be mixed together at a perfect proportion, and it either makes or breaks
Right.
the Coke. So, like, creme brulee is the same concept. It's very simple. It's just got to be perfect. And when it's perfect, it's like, oh. And when it's not, it just sucks.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying that recipe.
I'm
I
looking-
won't- probably won't make it a whole batch. I just
Yeah.
want to try it just to see what you think.
Well, I hope it's great. I would love to find, like, an easy source to get a really good creme brulee
Sure.
occasionally, because you got to occasionally have a treat, right? For me, creme brulee is a once or twice a year. I don't get it very often. I mean, how often do you actually see me order it at a restaurant?
Not very.
It's very rare. And it's usually at places these days where I know it's going to be a home run, because I'm tired of having all the bad ones.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, it's been a lot of fun. Melissa, your video was excellent. Jerry, thank you for producing that for us. It was really great. We're going to be throwing that up as a short. If y'all like those videos, if you think they're really fun, throw the little chef emoji up in our comments. Let us know that you saw it, you liked it. We'll do more. I like that I'm volunteering
Is there a chef
you.
emoji?
There is, yeah.
There's a little pastry chef
little chef
emoji.
chef
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, if you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure you head over to the Hyfield Trucking YouTube channel and check it out and watch it.
Absolutely. Have we hit our 1,000 yet? Or are we close?
We are so close. Last time I checked, I think we were 7 people away from 1,000 subscribers.
7
Well-
people. If you
I just subscribed, so 6 people know.
You just subscribed.
No, I didn't just subscribe.
You know, it's funny. Like, we were probably a year into this project, and I thought to myself, I should let the staff know that we're doing all this. And we had, like, I sent that email out, and, like, that same day, we got, like, 4 subscribers. And I'm like, dang it. Come on, people.
Yeah. We're at 993 right now, Jerry. Like
Yeah,
you said.
7 away.
7 away.
what?
So if you like what you're hearing,
and this is the Hyfield page?
This is the
Hyfield
Hyfield
YouTube
Trucking
channel.
YouTube channel.
Jump on there, subscribe to us. Even if you don't watch YouTube and you're listening to us on a podcast, it really helps us out tremendously. It puts us in front of more people, and we just want to kind of, again, entertain you, give you some ideas for the road, cooking this time around, war stories, although this time the war stories were actually kind of fun. But we appreciate being in your ears. We appreciate spending time with you each week. I appreciate all the support that I've gotten on my weight loss journey so far. I've had so many of y'all reach out to me and tell me you're joining me or you're changing something in your life to get to get better. And I love it. I mean, we only get one life, so trying to get healthy and extend the quality of life in the term we have, it's so important. And I've screwed part of mine up, and I'm trying to get back on track so I don't screw up the rest of it. But it has been it's been a lot of fun hanging out with all y'all.
And also with you.
Chili, Buttermilk, Slim Jim, Bobby. It's been a hootenanny, I believe they say down south, a hootenanny.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you next week. Am I forgetting anything, Jerry?
Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. As Patrick mentioned earlier, it is free. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it really, really helps us out.
Free, you say?
If you want us to talk about anything, drop a comment in the video below. Shoot us an email at theouterboutpodcast@gmail.com. Or just call us. The Hyfield checking
take
number, it's in the ad. I think it's probably right here below the screen right now. Give us a call. Just say, hey, you're probably going to talk to Buttermilk, or you're going to talk to Delina or Kayla. Love what you're doing on the Outer Belt. We'd love to hear you talk about X, Y, or Z. Check out the Expedite Boogie. He's got some exciting stuff coming up. They had some scheduling conflicts, and then some production internet stuff went south on this last one, so they're gonna have to redo that video. They're like 4 different times now they've tried to get this video done, but it's coming, I promise.
It is.
Well, keep your eyes out for that. I know they've been trying to get this done. They've had some production issues, and
Yes.
you know, it's funny because I sit back and I'm like, why is there no content? And then it's like you hear the backstory and you're like, I get it. Okay. In the meantime, stay safe, make good decisions.
Don't leave money on the table.
And keep those wheels a turning.
Bye.
Good night.